So we have a bunch of Pokemon Winds and Waves news to talk about, and honestly it's kind of crazy. There's so many leaks, rumors, and information that we know so far about these games. And let me tell you, oh boy, they look pretty good. So what's going on, everyone? How's your day going? Let's get straight into the video. So if you take a look at this post right here, you can see Pokemon that have been leaked. Now first off, you have Brout, Pom-Pom, and Gekwa, which in fact, those Pokemon were leaked before we even got the trailer, so that's pretty cool. Then we also have Wind's Grandpa, Wind's Grandma, which essentially these are going to be either legendaries or these could be the Pikachus in the start of the trailer. Then we have the Seed Pokemon, which essentially what the Seed Pokemon is if you went to an Ice Island, you can go to Ice Island, then you can go Fire Island, then you can go to Grass Island. It's going to be different compared to wherever you go, which is going to be really, really cool. Then we have the Stereo Rotom, which is pretty much the one from Pokemon Pokopia. The Yellow Shellos, which seems like it's going to have a new typing. That's another thing that we have to talk about. And then we have the Flying Fish. The Flying Fish is definitely really cool. And then you have the Moon Rabbit, which Moon Rabbit, there's definitely a whole bunch of context to this. Now let's start off with a brand new typing. Now, supposedly, we might be getting a brand new typing in Pokemon Winds and Waves. Now, this is definitely really cool in a lot of different ways, because the last time we've seen a new typing was in Pokemon X and Y with the Fairy type, so this would be definitely really cool. Although Yellow Shellos definitely could be either the Light type Pokemon, or Yellow Shellos could just be a variant from the region, or something like that. So I guess we'll have to see when the time comes. You also have the Stereo Rotom, which obviously we are most likely going to be getting stuff from Pokemon Pokopia, and if that's the case, we could probably see other things like that, like the Mossy Snorlax, and also the Pikachu, the Light Pikachu, which would go alongside with the Light type. There's definitely a lot of Light type Pokemon that could consider to be a different typing. Like that Light type fish, that could be water and Light type, so it's on screen right now, definitely looks really interesting. So yeah, I definitely think that we could be getting a different typing in the future for Pokemon. Now, we also have this right here to talk about, the Flying Fish. What in the world does this mean? It's a flying fish. This could be just like another standard Pokemon, or this could mean deep value into the game. Because right now, these are all like iconic Pokemon, if you know what I mean, when you talk about Pokemon, because you got the starters, you got the legendary, or what could be the Pikachus. You got a seed Pokemon, which is essentially like a unique post-legendary game or something. And also you have the Rotom, the Yellow Shellos, the Flying Fish. So the Flying Fish could be something that's inside the story, like deep inside the story, that you really need to learn the abilities of the Flying Fish so then you can fly with your own Pokemon. That definitely could be something. And then we have the Moon Rabbit. Now, funny story, the Moon Rabbit is definitely really interesting because, in fact, the Moon Rabbit seems like it's going to be revealed inside the anime TV series, because there's been a lot of leaks and rumors that's been going around that it seems like once we see a little bit of more information on the show, it's going to be revealed at some point. Seems that May at some point this will be revealed, and it could be a Moon Rabbit, because there's a lot of speculation about, oh, we gotta know what this lady looks like. She looks like a rabbit to me, which honestly doesn't really look like a rabbit to me, but overall, the point is, the speculation here is looking at this lady becoming a rabbit, which is going to share that the Pokemon is, anyways, is definitely really interesting. So I find this all to be pretty cool. But then we have a lot of other things for the locations and things that you can go and explore. It seems like it's going to be more vertical than Scarlet and Violet. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, usually when you say something's more vertical, it means that it's taller, and we've already known that you can go underwater. But what's really interesting about this is you will also be able to go in the sky. Now, the sky would definitely be really interesting, because then you can bring back some of the greatest legendary Pokemon ever and make it part of the story. Like, you could bring up Sky Pillar if you wanted to and put it directly into the map. Now, that definitely would be interesting, and it could be locked behind a post-game or a DLC, or whatever the case may be, but definitely would be cool. It could be part of the main game if you wanted to, because we've already seen legendary Pokemon from past regions make their way into newer regions, which is definitely cool. And some of them weren't even from DLC. So yeah, I would definitely keep an eye out on that. And of course, the Sky Islands could definitely be something like Tears of the Kingdom, where there was different Skylands that you can go to, and you would most likely use Pokemon for that. It could be the flying fish that you trail behind your scooter, unless they completely removed the scooter and they fixed it so then you can sit down on the flying fish and you can fly up to like the Sky Islands. That could be it, because originally we got a leak that was supposedly you get a scooter and you can get Pokemon and then you can trail behind the Pokemon using the scooter. That never made sense to me, but now that we have a flying fish, that could very well be exactly what this is for. It's kind of going to be like Legends Arceus, where you had a whole wheel of Pokemon that you can sit down and ride on, and this time around it's a flying fish and the fish will actually fly instead of glide like the bird was able to glide inside of Legends Arceus. That definitely could be what's going on here, and I honestly think that this would definitely be great. The depths, however, are a completely different story. Is the fish going to allow you to go in the depths, or are you able to use whatever Pokemon you want? Because it seems like there's going to be a full gym associated to the depths. And honestly, I think that this is really cool. A whole underwater city, it could be full of mermaids, and it could be the lost city of Atlantis. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. But overall, I find this to be so exciting in a lot of different ways. Pokemon Winds and Waves is a game unlike any other. It's so much different than what we had in the past, which is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Black and White 2, Sun and Moon, and so many other great games. But now you really gotta take a note on, okay, so what else is there? Well, we had another leak that every single Pokemon was going to be in the games at some point. I'm not sure if that's actually true, because I feel like Game Freak or the Pokemon Company is just going to take their best 400 that fit the region, call it a day, and there you go, add a DLC later that adds them. That definitely could be it, but I would just keep an eye out on that, because honestly, I think all Pokemon, like all 1,000 Pokemon in one game is really cool. Because remember back in the day with these older Pokemon games, you had all the way from Generation 1, 2, 3, and I believe 4? Potentially 4? No, it was 3. You had the National Dex, and it had Gen 4 Pokemon, and it had like Gen 5 Pokemon, and it was honestly so awesome. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I believe, is still the game with the biggest Pokédex. It had every single Pokemon from those regions, plus some. So potentially we could see something like that. You'll start off with 400 different Pokemon, and then as you progress the game through, as you do all of this stuff, you will finally like unlock the Pokédex, and then eventually instead of 400 it'll go to 600, and then you collect those and you capture those and whatever, it goes to 800, and then eventually it fully opens up. That would be definitely really cool. Overall, I think that this is really awesome. Now it seems like there's going to be a whole massive city in this game. Now, honestly, I think a city inside of the Pokemon Winds and Waves would be cool. But if you remember, a while back, we talked about this leak that shared off a lot of the locations of this. We had some sort of like fire island, we had an ice island, we had a grass island, we had like an island of every single typing, but then there's also the city for the people. So it seems like the city is going to be the main island. Now, essentially, it's not going to be the main island where you start. That's going to be a completely different thing. You will be able to take your Pokemon for a ride and go to the main city, but that's not where you start. It seems like you'll start in a small town buried off into an island, and then eventually you'll learn either how to swim or how to fly, and eventually you'll be able to go to a different island. I honestly think that this is definitely great, because it gives you that sense of exploration. Well, obviously I can go to a volcano and try to catch myself a Charizard if I want to. Or I can go over here to the ice island and get myself a Jigglypuff, because, yeah, anyways. But overall, all of these things would make for the greatest Pokemon game. We've already seen that Pokemon Winds and Waves looks really good. It looks really exciting, to be honest, because the visuals look amazing. The fact that everything is going on looks amazing. There's also been this trailer that's been floating around. Now, this trailer is obviously fake. It was made by using AI, which honestly kind of sucks. And I was getting excited over the trailer until I was, wait a minute, this is AI generated. We didn't see another trailer. It's definitely AI generated, but it definitely gives you the sight on what we could see in this region, because it really connects all the regions together, and potentially this is what's going to be happening here. But overall, From the leaks and rumors that we've seen, it seems like it's going to be islands, not fully landscape tutorial land. It's going to be islands, so it's going to be like something like Sun and Moon, or even the Pokemon Sword and Shield Isle of Armor DLC. That was definitely a great DLC, and you can definitely relate those two things together. Now, I didn't want to make this video too long, but this is pretty much everything that you need to be catch up on. Now, there's definitely a lot of other leaks and rumors that, yeah, I gotta talk about. So if you want to, consider to check out my Pokemon channel. It really goes down to all the nitty gritties. Every single tiny little leak and rumor that we got so far. Every single video there. It's like probably 2 minutes long because I don't want to make it too long for you. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel, and consider to check out my Pokemon channel, Slinky Pluto, quite literally, without the numbers. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic day. See you in the next one.